Hello everyone, welcome back to a new dawn. Let's go ahead and continue. Piplup and I practically had to chase Dawn out the door and onto the darkened ship decks. A slightly unnatural illumination shone from the ship's lights as we caught up to her, headed in some direction, presumably? Now where are we going exactly? I asked Dawn with a laugh, not really caring about our destination as long as she was keeping up this adorable energy. How about... Oh wait, I know. Follow far. Yes, ma'am. Piplup. Are you good, Piplup? Dawn decided to use the stairs instead of an elevator, jogging in place at the top as Piplup and I struggled to keep up. Come on, you slowpokes. There's stuff to be done. I haven't thought of exactly what yet, but I'm sure. Piplup. Piplup scrambled up a few steps before slowing down and panting. He looked up to me, glancing to the side and making an expression like he was gritting teeth he didn't have. I figured it was just overexertion before he looked back to me, extending a flipper towards my hand. Piplup, Piplup. I smiled down at him, accidentally scooping him up into my arms as soon as I was sure what he was asking. He scurried up my back and held onto my shoulder, boldly pointing his flipper head to direct me onward as I took the stairs two at a time towards our girl. It is adorable. I just hope my shoulder can compare to Dawn's. I took the stairs two at a time to get to the top as fast as possible, for Dawn was already standing in the doorway. Slowpoke, the dopey Pokemon, incredibly slow and sluggish. It is quite content to loll about without worrying about the time. She's brought us to the mall. I wonder what she has in mind here. She's still very much full of energy, bouncing up and down in place whenever she stops moving. Okay. Now... I could have sworn I saw her last time we were here. What are we looking for? Special secret surprise, were you not? Do you know what she's losing her mind over? Piplup. The two of us crossed our arms as Dawn jogged around the area, passing by storefronts without so much as a glance. Whatever it is, I guess it's not for sale in the shop. There, yes! Old Gatel has served. I tilted my head at the word she used, but she had two plastic containers of a pretty tasty looking cake. Old Gateau, a specialty of the old chateau in Sinnoh, was 99% ghost-free. Okay, Gateau. Okay. She emphasized all the O sounds in her words as she handed me a box of cake, keeping one for herself and Piplup with a handful of forks and napkins. Oh, looks tasty. I give the sample all this Sinnoh cuisine I've never heard of with you. I'd make a good Sinnoh travel guide, I bet. Too bad that's where we're leaving right now, but oh well. I also know a great place to eat this with you too. Come on. He grabbed my free hand with hers and took me towards the entrance to the mall. I had to be careful with my pristine slice of cake, at least until I devour it. Ah, so this is where she was taking us. Pretty good choice. We'd ended up at the stern of the ship, a cool breeze blowing over the two of us as the sun set in the distance. I had to take a second to catch my breath. The combination of running and swerving around corners and people had made me pretty tired. The delicate sea spray misted over me in a refreshing way, especially after the practical sprint we did to get here. This is the same spot we'd come to before. Evidently, it left as good an impression on her as it did me. Albeit probably less romantic. I wonder if I should say that out loud.
Woo! We made it! And in record time.
What was this? Were you just trying to get some exercise with us? I paused in between taking breaths, watching Dawn giggle lightly while doing the same.
Just a happy coincidence.
I mostly just wanted to get here in time to see the sunset with you. Aww. I smiled at her before the two of us looked off towards the setting sun, leaning back on the wall behind us.
Plus, we got cake.
Always a great way to end an adventure. Would you call today an adventure?
Sure, every day is an adventure, especially with you. You've done something new and exciting every day this week.
No. Dawn shoveled a piece of the fruit-laid cake into her mouth, puffing her cheeks out as she chewed. Piplup responded in kind, biting on more than his fair share and munching away on Dawn's shoulder.
Maybe I should have gotten more.
The two of us sat down with our backs to the wall to enjoy the dessert Dawn picked out for us. She seemed pretty excited to find this old Gatomon stuff, or whatever she called. Munch. Oh my gosh, this is delicious. What are you doing in Sinnoh to make all your food so good?
That's an easy one. Everything is prepared with love.
Of course, how foolish maiden to not realize.
Well, the better answer is that I'm not feeding you the bad stuff.
We'll have plenty of time to find bad food in Unova.
That reminds me, have you ever been there before?
Unova? No. Mostly just Kanto. I've seen Johto and Hoenn too, and Sinnoh of course.
Oh wow, what's Hoenn like? I always thought of going there someday, since it's where Kanto started out from.
Wet? I guess? Lots of rivers and lakes and stuff, so I hope you can swim. She gave a pity giggle at my stupid comment. That's really all I could think of to say. Honestly, I barely know the place. Especially in the way she'd want to hear about it.
Wow, so it sounds like you've been all over, huh? This is my first time leaving Sinnoh.
I mean, I really emphasize mostly just Kanto. Everywhere else I've basically just passed through. Not like what you did in Sinnoh, you've been all over. She smirked at me, tilting her head against the wall. I guess I'll get to do that Unova though. I wasn't planning on leaving anytime soon.
Why? Is it because I'll be there?
That's part of it. And also travel is very expensive.
I think I like my reason better.
Dawn and I looked over to the sun tipping below the horizon as darkness started to fall over the ship. The lights dotted along the railing of the deck give us a bit of a sense of direction, with a few dimly illuminating our little hiding spot at the back of the ship.
You know, the contest is coming up. We could be practicing for it.
Right. Maybe tomorrow, huh?
Sure, maybe if we both drink coffee, we'll get tons of stuff done.
You know, after seeing you today, I'm not sure how good an idea that is.
Fair enough.
Dawn and I stared off into the distance in relative silence, save for the tapping of her boots as Dawn jittered up and down next to me. It's getting colder on the deck, the wind picking up a bit and blowing a cold mist over the two of us. I zipped up my jacket, but Dawn didn't seem to mind. You're still shocked she managed to stay warm in that outfit, but it is ridiculously cute, so maybe it's a fair trade. What's the first thing you're gonna do after we get there?
I think I want to see a Pokemon I've never seen before. There's gotta be tons, right? Oh my gosh, that's exciting to think about. What about you?
A long bath sounds pretty nice right about now.
Thought you might say something like that. Gosh, only a few days left. I just can't wait to get there. A whole new region of all new possibilities and contests and Pokemon and...
Uh-oh, caffeine wearing off?
I think so.
Dawn crumpled up on the floor, her limbs falling to her sides as she relaxed her whole body. Her eyes drooped as she gave off a few big yawns, not bothering to expend the energy to cover her mouth with a hand. Oh, how the tides had turned.
Yeah. Well, it was fun while it lasted.
Dawn curled up into a ball, wrapping her arms around her legs. It took a moment to notice her shivering a bit. Yes, I get to offer her my coat. The classic romantic thing to do. I barely had it half off before Dawn saw what I was doing, giving me a pouty face.
Hey, no, then you'll be cold.
Nah, but I had to. You look freezing. She huffed, looking down to the side of us, then back up at me.
Can we share it?
Might not be big enough for that.
Let's try.
Dawn quickly scooched over next to me, waiting a second to make eye contact before pressing herself up to me delicately. Oh my gosh, she's so soft. She's freezing. Focus on that first. I felt my heart pounding as I clumsily took my jacket off and attempted to drape it over the two of us. We both pulled in our legs, squeezing together in as small space as possible to get under our makeshift blanket as the chilly sea breeze continued sweeping over us. I could feel her wet with sweat after all that running around, which was probably only making her colder. Her clothes were damp, and I could feel sweat running down her arm as she brushed up against me. She's chatting her teeth lightly and breathing a little erratically. I wish I'd noticed sooner. We shifted around a little, trying to get comfortable under my coat before setting in place. I tried to keep my back straight against the wall for Dawn to lead on me. She rested her head against my shoulder for a few moments, slowly melting more and more into me to keep herself warm. She's soft and smells like strawberries and sugar. And sweat. But I think I love Dawn being sweaty too. Yeah, fair enough. Just take all my warmth, you angel. You deserve to be cozy. I had to make sure to keep my hands to myself, leaving them flat in my lap and clamping my arms to my sides. Dawn seemed to have the same idea, for a little while at least. I saw her take a little glance up at me, giving me an incredibly cute look. She evidently saw whatever she was looking for on my face, and quickly started shifting positions. She lifted my coat up for a moment, pulling her legs up and over mine to rest them across my lap. She thankfully leaned all her weight on me as I pulled my coat back over her. Her new position allowed it to cover us both up pretty well. I was able to get over her back as she leaned into me. Dawn held her arms in her lap for a bit, before putting one around my back and using it to pull herself closer to me. She linked her hands together around my waist, giving an exasperated sigh and burying her face in my shoulder. I really didn't have anywhere else to put my hands at this point. I gathered enough courage to wrap my arms around her legs, which were still freezing. I couldn't help but watch Dawn's expression as I moved. I was waiting to see her look uncomfortable enough to ask me to stop. But as she exhaled deeply, I could see a big smile on her face under her closed eyes. She looks comfy. Yes. The two of us sat in silence for a while, sharing our body heat under our blanket. Dawn occasionally nuzzled against my side, making me worried she'd hear my heart pounding loudly in my chest. I shifted my hands around, resting one on top of her boots and moving the other up and down her leg to try and warm her up. I made sure to keep one eye on her face, but her big smile never wavered. She blinked up at me for a second, tightening her grip and looking up at me with a longing expression. She moved to wrap my arms around her, pulling her against me and drawing another contented sigh from her. Her clothes are soft. Her black shirt feels thin, but I think I can feel something underneath it. Maybe that's the white part of her shirt. Or maybe part of her scarf. It feels separate to the rest of her clothes. Probably an undershirt. I think it reaches down to her skirt, as far as I can tell by tracing down her back with my fingers. Stop feeling her. I don't want to move. I'd be fine staying here all night or potentially forever. As far as places to die go, hugging Dawn is a pretty good one. I think she's asleep. Just don't move. Your job is to keep her cozy.
Pippa.
Don't look at me like that, Pippa. Go away. Shh. Pippa covered his mouth to stifle a giggle. He fortunately didn't appear to be angry at me for touching his trainer like this. He leaned against the wall beside me, his legs crossed and flippers behind his head, still giving me the slyest grin I've ever seen. Well, I guess I'm glad he didn't peck me to death. I'm happy to just hold down until she wakes up. Hopefully she's a heavy sleeper. She stirs. Dawn gave a cute whimper and nuzzled against my chest as she blinked a few times, letting go one hand of her hug to rubberize it, but quickly returning it around me. Her head was right by mine. It took a bit to work up the courage to lightly rest against her hat providing a little cushioning. I could hear and feel her mumbling words into my shirt, but I had to hold my breath to try and hear her properly. Say what?
I said you're cozy.
I, I'm glad I could warm me up a bit. We should probably get you to bed, huh? With a very pouty sigh, she gave me one last precious nuzzle against me before slowly sitting up, fortunately still not letting go of me with her arms. It was hard enough for me to say it, but I didn't want to overstay my welcome, I guess. Dawn had to practically peel herself off of me as she stood up, with some of her sweaty clothes getting stuck to the two of us. I couldn't help but feel great sadness as she pulled her warm body away from mine. This was the best day ever. Pip looked beyond himself, hopping up into Dom's arms as the two of us collected ourselves.
Alrighty. Let's get some contest prep done tomorrow, okay? Being number 1 takes effort. Piplop!
You got it. I'll be ready bright and early tomorrow.
Great, I taught you well. So, you gonna walk me back to the cabins?
Oh, yeah. Of course. I walked with the spring in my step, zipping up my coat and walking backwards as Dawn and Piplup trotted after me. It wasn't exactly a long walk, but we moved pretty slowly. This was the latest we'd ever been out, so it was much darker than we were used to. Plus, Dawn is tired and I never want this day to end. As we finally rounded the corner of the some elevators, Dawn pressed the button for our floor before turning to face me.
Alright, well, good night, Far. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow, right? This was really nice. Thanks for sharing your warmth and everything.
I nodded with a smirk, making her giggle. She gave me a farewell wave as the elevator opened and she stepped inside, Piplup hopping up to her shoulder. As soon as the doors closed, I exhaled deeply, practically falling forward. And I need to take a shower before I go to bed. Okay. This must be a dream. Fraggle, Fraggle. I don't know what he sounds like, man.
No, Far, save me.
Oh yeah, it's a dream. Boom, got him, no problem. You can speak English, Scyther? You got an accent too?
Oh my god, Far, save me. Now kiss me.
Dawn leaned forward, poking her lips out of anticipation. I say, good show, old sport. Ah. Oh man.
Ah, hey there, Far.
What happened to you? Dawn looked like she'd been splashed by an errant wave off the side of the ship or something. She was wringing out her clothes as I approached.
Oh, you know, this and that. Another of Coordinator Extraordinaire Dawn's hot Pokemon tips here. Don't tease water types unless you're in a swimsuit. Hey, Flap.
Dawn struggled with her wet clothes for a few moments before giving up and slumping back down into the big chair she'd been waiting in.
Forget it. It's a sunny day. I'll dry off eventually.
She saw Piplup in irritated glare as I sat across from her, crossing my legs and resting my head under my hand. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine, thank you very much. I don't want to run all the way back to my room to change, so let's do something to take my mind off it. contest prep, perhaps? Got 2 days left.
Dawn flapped her skirt up and down to air it out as we talked. I stole one glance at her cute legs before forcing myself to keep my eyes forward. Okay, let's see. Feel like telling me about the Grand Festival. Feel like telling me about the Grand Festival? I've been curious about that since you mentioned it.
Do I feel like talking about the defining moment of my contest career?
Do you?
Yes, that sounds fun. Guess that means you didn't read the contest magazine you got me, did you?
I mostly looked at the pictures.
I did look great in that dress, didn't I?
Yes. Besides, I want to hear the story firsthand from you.
Fair enough. I get to tell it way better than a magazine after all. So, where are you hanging out this time, mister?
Okay, let's see. Let's go to the spa again. Wanna maybe go back to the groomer? It was nice and relaxing.
I did want to go back there. I'm sure people up inside there would appreciate a return visit too. Pip pip lop, pip lop.
Oh, he seems happy.
Scyther! Told ya. Gosh, we sure spoil you too, huh?
Our companions nod enthusiastically. Good to see Scyther coming around the carnal pleasures of than laziness. Maybe. A staff Pokemon ushered the two into another room, pushing aside a curtain of beads with a satisfying rattle.
As for us, how about we save the sauna for later? I don't think I want to sit in one for several hours, you know?
Plus, then we have to spend the whole day all wet and sweaty. Which again, I wouldn't mind doing with her.
Right, and that's always best saved for last.
Dawn stepped over to a little waiting area with some comfy chairs surrounding a wicker table. Our chairs creaked under our modest weight. The two of us getting comfortable with our little cups of water from a nearby cooler.
Alright, so man, oh man, where do I start?
Traditionally, you start at the beginning.
Shush you. A story as intricate as this requires careful planning. But in this case, you're probably right. It all started at Lake Valor.
And unfortunately, I have to stop here for today. But if you are enjoying this video, please leave a like, comment what you think so far. And if you want to try this out for yourself, I will provide links down below. If you want to watch more of this visual novel, please check the playlist down below. If you want to watch other visual novels, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and take care.